What's up guys, Nguyen, OG Fitness, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about judo injuries and BJJ injuries, like the most common ones in those two sports. So if you guys are new to the channel, this channel is all about fitness for martial arts, for martial artists, for older guys, okay? I'm 44 years old, black belt in judo, blue belt in BJJ, and I've been doing martial arts pretty much my whole life. So yeah, all right, let's dive in. Now in judo, shoulders and knees, those are the first things that go. Ribs too, because you know when you get thrown and people land on you, your ribs take a beating, and sometimes you just get crushed like that, crush here, and that's why you shouldn't really go with heavier guys all that much. Okay, like it could happen with guys your weight or even lighter, but less likely. Now in BJJ, the most common injuries, in my opinion and from my experience, is the back, the lower back. Man, I'll tell you guys a story. Like when I stopped doing BJJ, because I started doing BJJ first, I did that for 6 years, and then I transitioned over to judo, which is usually the opposite of what people do. I stopped having back problems. And yeah, for a while anyway. And then of course, other things caught up to me. I developed scoliosis. I might have had a little bit of scoliosis to begin with, and then judo just made it worse. I made a video on that. So if you guys can look that up if you want to see. It's called Judoing with Scoliosis. But BJJ messed up my back. It wasn't only BJJ, but it was also compounded by doing heavy squats and not having perfect form at all times, and heavy deadlifts without having perfect form at all time. So those two things are very dangerous for your lower backs. So if you could avoid doing those things, or doing it not too heavy and having perfect form, or just, and of course, I would say strengthening your core in a big way, and working on your flexibility and your mobility in a very big way as well. It'll help with your lower back issues, or at least if you don't have any, then good for you. And if you do those things, then chances are you're gonna stay that way for a long time. But if you have back issues, maybe stop doing crazy heavy deadlifts and crazy heavy squats with not optimal form, and really your form has to be perfect. So anyways, that's for BJJ, because somebody asked me the common injuries, the most common injuries in BJJ and judo, and how to avoid it. And that's a big topic, right? Like how to avoid or how to rehab these things. Now, you can't really avoid them 100% because accidents do happen, and over time if you're not careful. But I mean, you can really reduce the chances of having to deal with this if you're careful and you're very aware of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So now in judo, the shoulders, because well, you're always falling. Like when you fall, you know, even if you don't post, and even though you know how to fall, sometimes you're gonna want to post as well. Like you might not post straight like this, you know, because then you could break your arm. But you might post like this, you might land like this, you might land here, you know, and you're twisting and turning, going into your attacks, and when attacks are being thrown at you, you know, so you're twisting and turning like all over the place, like your shoulders, you know, your hips, you know, your upper body, your knees, you know, the hip joint and all that. So there's a lot of twisting in judo. So and on top of that, falling and people landing on you. So the knees and the shoulders are what goes in judo, right? But you could there's ways around that, but it's a lot more difficult, in my opinion, to deal with, to be careful, to prevent. But it's still doable. It's just that it's a lot more subtle than in BJJ, because BJJ moves at a slower rate, so it's kind of easier to manage and to avoid these type of injuries. But I'll make a video on, you know, how to how to, you know, avoid or rehab these injuries, right? I think one for how to avoid them, and then another one for rehab, for judo and for BJJ. Now, in both cases, your fingers. Oh, sorry, I forgot. In BJJ, there's also the neck, right? Because people do a lot of guillotines and crank on your neck and all. And yeah, so the neck is something that's affected too. So BJJ, neck, lower back, judo, shoulders and knees. Now, there's other things as well. Like all the joints are potentially are in danger, right? And in both cases, your fingers. Yep, fingers definitely take a beating as well. And there's ways around that too. There's ways to prevent that. There's ways to rehab that. But a lot of people, like jiu-jitsu fingers or judo fingers, you see the guys tape them all the time, and then when they take them off, like it's all swollen, the joints are all messed up and all, and they can't even, some people can't even make a fist. But don't be that fool. Don't be the fool that's proud of, oh, look, I can't close my hand because, you know, I'm a BJJ guy. It's like, no, you don't need to go there. You know, it's better to be the guy that, hey, I'm at a very high level. I've been doing this for years, and look, my shit still works. Okay, this is gonna be a short video. That's all I have to say on that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Do you guys have the same experience as me? Do you guys feel it's shoulders and knees for judo, and for BJJ, do you feel it's more the back and the neck, or maybe, you know, something else? And follow me on IG, guys, so you could ask me questions directly there, and so that I could keep track of our conversation and not forget to answer you. And that's it for this one. So please share the video. It helps the channel grow. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.